For many, many years now, I have kept what I call an everything notebook. My everything notebook is the analog notebook that I use to keep track of my calendar, of what I did each day, of any notes that I'm taking on what I'm reading, brainstorming and drafting, journaling, random notes about things I want to remember. Literally everything goes in my everything notebook. And for years and years, I've been a Moleskine girl. I have loved their planner format. I love that there's always some extra pages in there to make my everything sorts of notes. I like the quality of the paper. I like the form factor of the notebooks. But something happened recently that changed my mind. I discovered traveler's notebooks. Okay, so I do still love Moleskines, but I bought a traveler's notebook for our trip to Europe earlier this year, and I have absolutely fallen in love with the format of these notebooks. And what I love about them is that a single notebook comes in a really compact form factor, but you can put a number of different inserts inside each notebook, which allows you to keep different parts of your life together, but also separate and organized. So I thought today I would show you my traveler's notebook, show you how I have it set up right now, and how I think that I would like to use it in the future. While we're talking about that, I'm going to make some small tweaks to my notebook for the second half of this year to kind of transition me from how I'm using it now to how I envision using it in 2024 and beyond. Right now, my system consists of two separate notebooks. I have my traveler's notebook, which currently has in it a notebook that I use for my journal, for my brainstorming, for my notes, basically for everything, as well as a second notebook that is just for lists. It has check boxes and lines, so I can use that just for making lists. And I make lists for everything from things that I need to do, to things that I have bought, to places I want to go, to what I need at the grocery store. My second notebook right now is my giant Moleskine planner. And this is something new for me this year. I've always used smaller planners in the past, but I thought I would try out something that had a little bit more of a life planning aspect to it and less of just a day-to-day aspect. So this planner in particular has pages for tracking streaks of day-to-day activities. It has places for thinking about future goals and looking back on how a month has gone, as well as a weekly and monthly calendar with plenty of space to write down things on each day. I use this big planner mostly as a book that stays at home. I use it to keep track of my content calendar for what I'm putting out here on YouTube and other places. I use it to track what I wear, to track some appointments, although a lot of that is done on my phone. I also write in here places that I went on those dates. I do include some to-do lists from my accountability partner here, and I keep track of what I wear on a daily basis in this calendar as well. Sometimes I use the additional features of the habit tracking and the goal setting, but not always and not consistently. Definitely not as consistently as I had envisioned when I first got the notebook. As I've been getting more interested in traveler's notebook setup and watching other videos and reading articles about how other writers set up their books, I realized that what I want to do with mine is kind of a modified version of a Commonplace book. A Commonplace book is a very old sort of journaling that is really more about keeping track of all of your disparate thoughts inside a single notebook. So a traditional Commonplace book could include things like quotations, recipes, notes on reading, thoughts, poems, really anything that comes up in your life that you would feel like you need to write down, and that writing down will help you to remember and process. I like my notebook to have a little bit beyond that. I also like to have a calendar, and I like to have a journal available, but I do not want to keep my journals for posterity. My journals are a mental health tool for me to be used, experienced, and then discarded afterwards. So I've been working on updating my notebook system to encompass all of that and all of those different things that I use my modified Commonplace book for in a way that's still compact and really works for me. What I really want is to combine these two notebooks into this one notebook. It is really appealing to me to have everything in one place while still having the flexibility to toss out or burn a journal when I'm finished with it, and to keep things like to-do lists separate from brainstorming and content creation. That being said, my big Moleskine planner is a year-long planner, and I am not ready to just pitch it and start over again in the middle of the year. I really don't want to be constantly creating new systems in the hopes that my systems will change something about my life. So I want to take it slow in adapting those new systems and really use what I have right now. What I'm doing instead is continuing to use my Moleskine planner, but prepping my traveler's notebook so that starting next year, I can put everything under the same cover and start to have the system that I think is going to work best for me. The way I'm going to do that is to start with some fresh inserts inside my traveler's notebook. This first one is a grid notebook that I'm going to use for all of my brainstorming, note-taking, and memos to myself. I created some margins that I can use with these washi dot stickers to denote the different kinds of information I'm keeping in this Commonplace sort of notebook. The second notebook I'm using is a lined notebook, which will become my journal. As that gets filled, I will pull it out, discard it, and replace it with another similar notebook. Finally, I have my to-do list notebook. I'm going to wrap that in a plastic sleeve that has some pockets on it, and in one of the pockets I'm putting a list that has been really handy to me over the past several months. And that's just a reminder of tasks that I can do at differing levels of energy throughout the week. And now all that's left is to bind the two outside notebooks together, slip them through the traveler's notebook band, and then add the center notebook through the same band. I like having this clip available to hold open the journal when I'm writing with it, and I attach my little pen that I bought in Germany. And now, with these two notebooks, I'm ready to take on the second half of 2023. Until next time, I am wishing you love and joy and all those good things, and I cannot wait to talk to you again.